Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for being here today. I want you to think of a parent, someone who may work one or two jobs. They take care of their child, children, but they have just been served eviction papers. They have done everything right. They work, they've paid rent on time for many years, but an unexpected medical expense tipped the scales, or their work hours have been reduced and have put them behind on their rent. Now, with nowhere to go, the parent, the child, the children now homeless. Not just the loss of a home, but the loss of stability, the loss of dignity and hope. The scenario described earlier is not unique to Bermuda or uncommon. Homelessness in Bermuda does not always look like someone sleeping on a bench or under a tree. It can sometimes be where someone is staying temporarily on a friend's couch, or a family member sleeping in a car, or a person staying in an abandoned property or an area because there's just simply nowhere to go. Homelessness in all of its forms is a reality for far too many in our community. 2024 data tracking from home by direct contact or contact through another agency indicates the operational categories of homelessness are 244 persons roofless. For example, those living in the streets or public spaces without secure shelter that can be defined as living quarters. 424 persons were houseless. For example, persons who have been released from institutions or temporary accommodations, such as shelters, but having no housing available prior to release. Hence, they need to stay longer than needed due to the lack of housing. 200 persons residing in insecure housing, that is temporary living with family, friends, or living under the threat of an eviction. 233 persons living in inadequate housing conditions, such as makeshift shelters, a garage, a barn. This is why today's announcement matters so much. I am deeply gratified to collaborate with the charity Home Bermuda, a partner who shares our ministry's vision of a Bermuda where every person is housed, safe, and supported. In alignment with the government's objective of building a fair Bermuda for everyone and supporting Bermudians through all stages of life, the Ministry of Youth, Social Development, and Seniors is proud to formally announce a new partnership with the charitable organization Home, through which we have granted $147,000 to support the creation and operation of a rental support service emergency subsidy pilot program. The pilot program was made possible through the September 2024 supplementary budget and is part of our broader strategy to expand social services and address housing insecurity in a meaningful way. Our goal is to prevent homelessness before it begins, to ensure that people facing sudden eviction, unsafe housing, or unstable housing situations have access to immediate emergency rental support. This includes help with first month's rent or deposit, often the most significant barrier to securing accommodation. This is support that cannot wait weeks or months. It must come when the need is urgent. This initiative directly supports Section 8 of the Strategic Plan to End Homelessness in Bermuda, helping us to identify and intervene before people fall through the cracks. Home already operates rent support services, and they will oversee the implementation of this pilot, including the management of all grant disbursements in a way that ensures accountability, timeliness, and compassion. The broader context matters here. Around the world, similar programs, whether called rent banks in Canada or eviction diversion in Australia, have proven effective. In some countries, such as Italy, rent relief is even legislated following eviction proceedings. Though the models may vary, The principle is the same. People deserve to stay housed, even when life takes an unexpected turn. What makes this initiative special is the exit strategy it includes. Our support is not simply about a handout, but a stepping stone. There will be proper hardship and housing assessment and landlord and tenant education. Whether someone stays in their current housing, transitions to a new accommodation, or is able to return to a safer version of where they were before, the aim is to create long-term housing stability, even after the emergency support concludes. We want the people of Bermuda to know that you are not alone. Government is here, support is here as we work towards improving the living circumstances. Through this pilot, we are taking one more step towards a country where housing is a right and not a privilege. Let me end where I began with the parent. They are now in secure housing. The children are not displaced. They are in a space where they can call home. That is the impact we are working to create. Support for mothers, support for fathers, children, grandparents, one family, one household, one person at a time. I would now like to invite our partners from home to share details of how the application process will work and how eligible persons can access this critical support. Thank you.
Thank you for being here today. I am honored to speak on behalf of HOME and to stand alongside two valued partners in our quest to end homelessness. The Honorable Tinee Furbert, Minister of Youth, Social Development and Seniors, and Dr. Tiffany Thomas, Deputy Chair of the Multidisciplinary Case Management Committee. Those of us working on the front lines of homelessness know all too well that it is far more compassionate and far less costly to prevent homelessness than to cure it. When a family or individuals lose their home and no affordable home is immediately available, the road back to stability can be long and difficult. But with the right interventions, at the right time, we can stop the slide before it starts. And that is what makes today's announcement so important. The emergency rental subsidy is more than financial support. It is a lifeline. It has the potential to keep families together, to keep workers employed, and to keep children in school without disruption. It will help many people remain in their homes where they belong. The true measure of any society is how it treats its most vulnerable citizens. We must regard a home as a basic human right. And we must ensure that financial assistance is sufficient for the people at risk of homelessness. As laid out in the plan to end homelessness, welfare entitlements should be based on the actual cost of necessities. They should be available at the right point to prevent homelessness and should take into account the specific needs of each individual. This approach will help us to ensure people don't have to be in a state of crisis before they actually qualify for help. Families and individuals in urgent need require a streamlined financial assistance process that provides adequate support in the shortest time possible. When people lose their homes, it is preventable. And taxpayers pay a heavy price, as homelessness strains our social services, helping agencies, the criminal justice system, and the healthcare system. This fund is designed to support families facing acute financial hardship on a time-limited basis. Our main goal is to prevent episodes of homelessness, which ultimately benefits not only the tenants, but the landlords. We recognize that landlords, often bound by mortgage agreements, can face significant financial strain when a tenant are unable to pay their rent. By stepping in with this short-term support, we aim to protect both the housing stability of our tenant and the financial viability of our landlords. To be eligible, you must be referred by one of the following agencies: HOME, the Family Center, Transitional Community Services, the Salvation Army, Teen Services, STAR, Dignity House, Solstice, the Women's Resource Center, the Center Against Abuse, the Department of Court Services, the Department of Corrections, the Department of Health, and lastly, the Department of Financial Assistance. Alternately, you can call 599-9931 to request an intake. To be eligible for assistance, tenants must have a signed lease agreement, and the landlord must agree to the tenant continuing their tenancy in the apartment. This program differs from financial assistance services, which do excellent work supporting individuals over a longer period of time. Instead, our fund is focused on immediate, short-term intervention. Funds are paid directly to service providers or landlords. Additionally, tenants who receive support are required to complete HERM's Renting Ready program, which is a 10-week course designed to help tenants build skills and be successful and responsible renters. To give an idea of some of the real-life situations of referrals that will be considered, let's take into mind a tenant who has lived in their apartment for about 5 years without issue, but has recently fallen behind due to car trouble or medical problems. Their landlord is working with them, but they haven't been able to pay rent for 3 months. The need to avoid eviction and remain in the home, in this case, is urgent. Any one of the referring agencies can submit a referral for consideration, and we aim to provide a decision within 72 hours of receiving the referral. We believe the Rent Support Hardship Fund can make a real difference in keeping individuals and families housed during difficult times. It is imperative that we work together, the government, the third sector, social services, and the wider community, to identify those on the pathway to homelessness so that we can intervene. Too often, at home, we receive a call for help when someone is on the brink to our dedicated partners on this mission. Once again, the Salvation Army, the Family Center, Transitional Community Services, Teen Services, STAR, Dignity House, Solstice, the Women's Resource Center, the Center Against Abuse, the Department of Court Services, the Department of Corrections, the Department of Health, and lastly, the Department of Financial Assistance. Each of you play a vital role in this work, and we are grateful for your collaboration. By deciding not to tolerate homelessness in Bermuda anymore, and by moving forward with a shared purpose, we can build a Bermuda where everyone has a place to call home. Thank you.
Good afternoon. Protocol already being established, it truly is an honor to be here today to celebrate what I truly believe is a transformative investment in our community. This grant represents more than just financial support. It represents hope, opportunity, and progress. At the heart of this initiative is collaboration. It is only through meaningful partnerships, such as those between government, nonprofits, the private sector, and the community, that we can build systems that truly work. Collaboration is not just a buzzword. It is a catalyst for change. It ensures that we are not duplicating efforts, but instead aligning our strengths and resources to maximize outcomes. Ultimately, the true beneficiaries of this grant are those who need our support the most. This grant will allow us to reach further, respond faster, and provide more comprehensive support to some of our most vulnerable citizens. Let this be a reminder of what is possible when we come together with a shared purpose. I am proud to be a part of this work and excited about the doors this will open for so many in our community. Thank you, Minister.
Thank you all for your remarks. We'll now take questions from the media.
Good afternoon. Minister, how are you today?
I'm good, thank you.
Gray Miners here, Bermuda Broadcasting. First and foremost, thank you for the work that you and your team do to end homelessness. Also, thank you to Ms. Carey of Home, Dr. Thomas, and Mr. Bean for speaking to us today. So around the world, Minister Furbert, there is a major issue with there being people without homes, but also a number of homes without people.
Yeah.
You drive through Bermuda, you see a lot of derelict houses. Some of them are in good shape, some of them are falling apart. I've heard from stakeholders that a gap in providing people with adequate housing, especially here in Bermuda, is the lack of a centralized government or external partners can take stock of the amount of houses that are available in Bermuda and then allocate them or liaise with the original owners to see if something can be done to get people into those houses. Do you know if your ministry is working towards creating a centralized housing register? And if you are, what could a timeline on bringing that to fruition look like?
Thank you for that question, Gray. We actually have some summer students who are actually helping us on that project as we speak, and they're due to give me a presentation next week, Monday actually, in regards to the derelict homes or homes that are out there that are not being utilized, where they are, how many of them we have, in hopes to be able to have that information or registry. Because you are correct, there are many homes that are out there that are not being utilized, and we need to figure out ways to make sure that stock is available to persons in our community.
Thank you. And my second and last question for you is, recent statistics have showed that the average home in Bermuda costs around $1 million, making it very, very unaffordable for the average person to get on the housing ladder. With this pilot program, could you see it, if it is successful, could you see it expanding to becoming something similar to the United Kingdom's Help to Buy scheme, where those individuals who have been provided with rental assistance could have assistance with maybe getting on the property ladder, or some of the rental properties that they may be renting, they could save towards buying those properties outright?
So I can definitely speak to the work that the Ministry of Housing and Municipalities is doing, in which they are doing a deeper dive in regards to options and strategies for affordable housing in Bermuda. That is not in my domain, but I know that work is being done within the Ministry of Housing and Municipalities as far as strategies for addressing affordable housing in Bermuda. You're welcome.
Okay, thanks again for your comments, Minister, and also the team at home. One question is about a homeless facility. I believe there was one in the works at the Richard Spencer facility.
Was it Bishop?
Sorry, Bishop Spencer facility, which never actually materialized. Do you believe that there's still potential and opportunity to build something like this, or a need to build this?
There is definitely a need, and there is still potential to build a structure similarly to what was being proposed at Bishop Spencer. Again, as we spoke earlier about the many properties that are derelict on island currently, and I know Minister Zane De Silva is working diligently with stakeholders, particularly in the development area, as well as other proposals that come from third sector. But I do foresee that there will be some movement in those areas in creating more options for affordable housing, and also being able to house people with different levels of income thresholds.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
And then there was an announcement from the City Corporation of Hamilton this week sometime about homeless people taking up space in the public parks, and it was an advisory, asking people not to take up this space in our public parks, but there was nowhere in that announcement of an alternative or what they should do, just that they shouldn't be in the parks. How do you feel about that announcement?
Well, I think the Corporation of Hamilton is wanting to take a stand in regards to, proper housing for people in our community. Because the park should not be a place of where people are choosing to call home. But sometimes I realize that sometimes is not. There are no other alternatives. But we also need to create alternatives for people in Bermudians. We need to create opportunities for Bermudians so that they have housing options that they can go to. But I think we talk about the plan to end homelessness, and that is the ultimate goal, right? So that people are not having to choose a park to sleep in. But we also have to think about there are many reasons why people will choose to be what we call roofless if we're talking about sleeping in parks. There are a number of reasons, and I think it is also important to dive deep into the reasons of why people are choosing those.
Hours?
Yes.
From application to approval or otherwise?
Yes.
That's the lower end of the scale. Could it take longer?
That's our aim. That is the aim that Home is looking to work towards 72 hours.
But you have an upper limit that you...
Multidisciplinary team that is making the evaluation and assessment that they will make this as speedy as possible.
Yeah, and just finally, the differentiation between this and financial assistance, I guess it's an emergency, it's short term. Are there any other, specifically for rent?
For rent, yes.
So is that the main?
Correct. We would know that in the legislation of financial assistance that they do not cover rental arrears. And then there is also a gap or a length of time in which it takes for someone to be approved for financial assistance. And so we're looking to reduce gaps.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you all for your questions. Before we close, Minister, do you have any final words?
I do want to share that this is a pilot program. Out of a pilot program, it is our aim to collect data and information that will provide us with how we would need to progress forward. This is a initiative that in other jurisdictions have been well received and well utilized, and also have won many awards for helping people in their community. And so I'm very excited to be able to bring this to the people of Bermuda. I have no doubt that we will see the benefits of it, and I'm excited to hear and to get that research and that data, particularly at the end of this pilot. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Minister, and thank you, everyone. This will conclude today's press conference.